What follows is truly one of the most remarkable stories of human resilience ever. A true story that will grip your hearts and captivate your minds. This harrowing descent into the depths of an underground bunker where 6 souls find themselves entangled in a nightmarish reality of unfathomable proportions. They lose all hope of being rescued from their tomb-like hell, and 6 years later, against all the odds, 2 men were rescued. Our journey takes us back to a pivotal moment in history, to the haunting landscapes of Baby Doli, Poland, in the year 1945. In this region of great significance, the Germans had fortified their coastal defences with a series of formidable bunkers guarding a vital torpedo testing facility located just 300 metres offshore. The Soviet Union had launched a sweeping military offensive known as the Vistula Order Offensive in 1945. A colossal operation aimed at ousting the German forces from Poland and propelling the Soviet Red Army towards the Oder River, inching closer to the very heart of Berlin, and the front line of this offensive had found itself in Baby Doli. As the German troops faced the relentless advance of the Soviets, they resorted to desperate measures, engaging in a scorched earth policy to slow the Soviet onslaught down. Bridges were obliterated, communication and transportation infrastructure sabotaged, and factories, military installations, ammunition depots, and fuel resources destroyed, all in an attempt to slow down their formidable adversary. It's within the depths of one of these subterranean bunkers a tale of extraordinary survival begins to unfold. As remnants of the once mighty German Second Army lingered in the area, alongside various infantry and panzer divisions in retreat, crucial orders were issued to demolish all stores and vital infrastructure before the troops regrouped for new defensive positions in the west. Amidst the retreat, some of the German soldiers made a difficult choice to loot the stores before following their orders to leave. Their once proud army had now diminished to a mere remnant, and essential resources were running dangerously low. Uncertain about access to even the most basic provisions in their new defensive positions, the soldiers, already fatigued from days of marching on foot, saw looting as a crucial means of survival amidst the brutal realities of war. As the soldiers hastily looted the abandoned stores, they remained unaware of the imminent danger lurking within. Unbeknownst to them, the entrances and escape tunnels were sealed off with an almighty bang, adhering to the relentless scorched earth policy. The destruction left 6 German looters trapped deep within the confines of the bunker, shrouded in darkness as the electric light succumbed to the aftermath of the explosions. Stranded, shocked and disoriented, they found themselves armed with nothing more than a few lighters, which offered a feeble glimmer in the encompassing blackness. As minutes turned into agonizing hours, the harsh reality began to dawn on them. There would be no rescue, no salvation from their unforeseen predicament. Panic and fear gripped their hearts as they came to the grim realization that each access point had been irrevocably demolished, leaving them entombed within the labyrinthine store many meters below the surface. Despite the grim circumstances, the looters discovered an unsettling glimmer of hope amidst the seemingly hopeless situation. The store, once abundant with vital supplies, now lay at their mercy. The shelves were brimming with tinned and consumable foods, blankets, candles, bread and sausages, with schnapps and large amounts of wine, while bottles of alcohol provided both temporary solace and numbed anxiety. Immense bays stored flour, wheat and an array of cooking essentials, providing them with sustenance amidst their otherwise dire circumstances. With their fate sealed by the very act of looting, the soldiers were now confronted with a battle for survival like no other. Trapped in the depths of darkness, they would have to summon every ounce of resilience to navigate the uncharted territory of the underground bunker where life and death danced on a precarious edge. This is the tale of their extraordinary struggle as they fought not only against the darkness but against the very consequences of their own actions. As they huddled together, these 6 soldiers transformed from looters to survivors. In the darkness, they navigated their own moral labyrinth, battling the shadows of their past decisions while clinging to the small comforts they had salvaged. The stores they had set out to loot became their lifelines, their guides in this extraordinary tale of survival deep within the heart of darkness. Fortunately, 2 air vents remained intact after the blast. Although they could not reach them, they spent hours screaming into their direction in the hope that someone would hear. But they were so long that no natural light could penetrate, and probably no sound could make its way out either. As the hours transformed into days and the days into weeks, their cries persisted, an unyielding testament to their unwavering determination to be heard. Yet, with each passing moment, the stark reality set in the likelihood of someone detecting their distress calls grew slimmer with time. The hope that had initially flickered in their hearts now teetered on the precipice of despair. Within the confines of the bunker, water was a scarce and precious resource, a luxury they could scarcely afford. Forced to make do with whatever they could find, they resorted to washing themselves in schnapps and wine. Their survival relied on condensation forming on the walls and occasional dripping into the bunker, presumably after heavy rain, a testament to the harsh reality of their existence. As weeks metamorphosed into months, their world within the bunker remained stagnant and unyielding. The confines of darkness seemed never-ending, and the tantalizing freedom beyond the sealed entrances became an elusive dream. The sense of isolation was profound as they clung to the distant echoes of their own voices, their last thread of connection to the world beyond. In their desperate bid for freedom, the soldiers resorted to futile attempts at digging their way out. But the unforgiving reality soon set in. Without proper tools and resources, their chances of escape were truly hopeless. As the days stretched into months, the weight of their bleak circumstances took a heavy toll on their spirits. Overwhelmed by the crushing weight of hopelessness, the soldiers sought solace in the only escape they could find: alcohol. Drinking heavily became their refuge, a temporary respite from the cruel confines of their concrete tomb. As the bitter months wore on, despair cast an ever-deepening shadow over their spirits. Trapped in the suffocating darkness, 2 of the soldiers eventually succumbed to the overwhelming despair, finding no glimmer of hope to cling to. Faced with the agonizing certainty that their fate was sealed within those unforgiving walls, they made the heart-wrenching decision to end their own suffering. For the 4 remaining survivors, the anguish deepened as they confronted the grim reality of their fallen comrades. The morbid task of dealing with the bodies lay before them, and they knew they had to find a way to dispose of them. An unsettling decision was reached. They would place the deceased in sacks, filling them with flour from one of the bays that housed an abundance of the commodity. As the next few months passed into the first few years, 2 more of them died of natural causes. Maybe it was hopelessness, or the fact they just gave up on life. They were also buried in sacks filled with flowers.